Hello, good evening, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to something a little bit different. We don't normally stream our one-off events here at the Sim Grid, but we thought tonight is a little bit special. It's a little bit wet, it's a little bit messy, it's a little bit dangerous. It is, of course, the Rain Meister. I am David Christie, and joining me tonight, we have got none other than the man himself, Mr. Boonatix, Stefan, joining me in the commentary box. Stefan, it's fantastic to have you along, and a welcome new voice to the SimGrid.
David, thank you very much. I'm very, very excited to be here, and thanks for the invitation. I'm looking very much forward to this evening. As you just said, it will be an absolutely amazing event.
I love it. I love it. And on the cameras tonight, we have our very own Michael Hamlet. We don't have Mike Yao from Simply Race with us tonight. So, Stefan, your job tonight, our job is to make Michael's life hell. That's what we've got to do. So we've got to put in all the calls for all the camera angles and all the replays. But good stuff. Good stuff. Of course, we're not going to get replays tonight, but it's all good. We will bring you the best action that we can, and we are not going to disappoint. We have got, from the looks of it, around about 45 cars registered in the session for Split 1. They're going to be having their driver's briefing around about now. So without further ado, I think, Stefan, let's jump to the track and talk our viewers around this Nurburgring GP track. It's a Ferrari 488 GT3 lap. So let's get going. And of course, we start on that iconic start-finish straight here at the Nurburgring. A very, very wet Nurburgring. Now, you see there are two lines. There's the dry line on that left-hand side and a very, very soggy outside line there. Turn 1 is the right-hander, the down into the Castrol S. It's then into turn 2, a left-hander. Deceptively difficult, this turn, because it actually tightens up halfway around, then down in towards the Mercedes arena, in towards turn 3, the left-hander that then goes straight into the right-hander, turns 4 and 5. Again, you want to try and get your exit spot pinned as soon as you possibly can so you can get as much traction out of that corner. It's the rundown RTL in towards turn 6. And then a wonderful little section here into Ford Curve turn number 7. And then it is the run down. This is my favourite part of the track, the run down to the Dunlop curve. You can get so many people here if you are nice and brave on the brakes. Although with the wet, I don't know how that is going to pan out. In nice and early, the car's going to want to drift out wide. Keep off the throttle, be nice and patient. The car will eventually hook itself back in on the power up the hill towards the Michael Schumacher S's. You want to try and be nice and smooth. You see the 488 struggling for traction as it hits the little puddles of water here at the Nurburgring. On the brakes into the Kumo curve, turn number 11. Again, that car is just all over the place right now, and you're hanging on for dear life as you go through turn 12 through the bit curve. And again, a nice little bit of straight here. You don't even need to worry about turn 13. Do not touch the curb on the inside, otherwise you may die. Up through turn 13, through Hatzenbach-Bergen, and then in towards Wiedel, turns 14 and 15. You've survived 99% of the lap. Don't bin it on the Coca-Cola curve. Nice and easy, round that last right-hander, hard on the power, and you've got to go and do it all over again for an entire hour. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your Nurburgring GP track guide. Thanks to Coach Dave Academy for that one, and thanks to Thrustmaster as well. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get better in the wet, then check out the links in the description on this YouTube chat and on the actual description on the video, and you will find the professional tailor-made Coach Dave Academy wet setups. Right, Stefan, that is enough talking from me. Let's get you back in on here, because what on earth are we looking at here?
Yeah, it's absolutely pouring down today, so we really have to take a look if there will ever be a dry line tonight, because as we just saw on the beautiful lap, there was like a little bit of a drier line. At least it looked like that. But with the amount of rain tonight, we were just thinking about if there will even be a chance for it to like dry a little bit up, even though we have like, as you just said, around 45 cars on track. So that is something that I will definitely have an eye on.
I think spray is going to be a massive issue for the cars as well. For those cars that manage to get themselves to the front, you've got some big names in here, the likes of Igor Ogorodnikov, you've got Viktor Anufriev, Niels van de Kerkelt, who we're watching just now, who we see through some of the other competitions. They are well known for being very fast drivers. But there's other ones that we've not maybe seen in the championships, but we've seen in the endurance races as well. How difficult, Stefan, do you think it's going to be to follow in the footsteps of a car in front of you with all that spray getting kicked up?
It will be very difficult, especially the farther down you go through the field, and the guys in the back. I really don't want to change with them and sit in the cars at the back of the field, because right from the start they will have no chance to see anything. There will be just huge amount of spray, so you really have to be mindful. You kind of have to feel the track and know what's coming up, and just be careful and react on instinct there.
Very, very well put. A big shout out to everyone who is in chat tonight. Pika, Lucas, Serenity, to Robin, Stefan, Dylan, Proxy, Andre, Yarno, and Voyage. I think that's everyone so far that said hello. Boosie getting a cheeky little hello in there just now. And Neil's there. I love how cheeky Neil's has been there. 10 out of 10 for the briefing. Love it. Right, Niels. Oh my goodness me! Right, qualifying has just begun, and 420 cars have just headed out of pit lane there, Stefan. This is going to be a little bit tasty, isn't it?
They just really start out all at once, and just let's try who will survive the outlap, actually, because it's just absolutely pouring down there. We can't even see much on our stream, so it's a very, very tricky conditions.
I know it's virtual, Stefan, but it's times like this that makes me very glad that I'm sitting in my warm, cozy house with a nice hot cup of coffee right now. These conditions are absolutely miserable. And that does bring up another point, because again, this is I'm going to put it in quotations, just a simulation. But when you're out there in these conditions as a sim racer, they are just as horrible, aren't they? The attention that you have to pay, the extra attention, your eyes are almost on stalks when you're driving around the track like this.
I can tell you from my own experience, just participating in a full-on rain Laguna Seca race, that it doesn't feel cold, and you don't get cold because you are sweating, you are drenched because it's raining in the game, you're all tensed up, and you have your full focus on every millimeter of the track and on trying to soak everything in that's happening in front of you. And we just saw that the amount of traffic now in the qualifying lap can lead to already some pretty tense moments.
It absolutely can, and of course, a lot of these drivers on their outlap trying to get their tyres warmed up, and they're not going at full speed. So this is going to compromise almost all 6 of these cars that are in here as they try and jostle for position. So, if it was me, I'd be wanting to stick to the back and try and find a little bit of space.
But usually you leave a bit of room to the car in front of you, so that you have the space, and you can do a quick lap and have a bit of a margin there. But one interesting thing we also should notice here, that actually maybe some of the viewers have picked up, that the most favorite cars in the rain are actually not on track, which is the Lexus, the Aston Martin V8, and the Bentley. And the reason is that they were banned for this one-off event.
Yeah, and I've got to be honest, I'm kind of gutted at that. The Boatley is one of my favourite cars in the sim. It handles so well, but it's brilliant because we get to see the cars that are in the sim and really don't get as much attention as they should do. As we see the Merc, we cut away from the Lambo there. Sorry, I think that was actually the Lambo or the McLaren. It literally just went off screen, and I've completely forgotten what car it was. But the likes of the Honda and the old, we've got one of the old Porsches out on track as well.
And absolutely thrilled to be on board with the Aston V12. It's one of the cars that I like to call the unicorn because you never see it on track at any event and not on public service. And in my humble opinion, it is like one of the top 2 or even top 3 best sounding cars in the game.
Oh, absolutely, definitely has a very unique soundtrack from that engine. Personally, I've always been a Mercedes man myself. There's something about the look of that Mercedes, the AMG GT3, that just I learned to race GT3 cars in the sim with that through iRacing. It was my very first GT3 car, and it just is absolutely iconic. But then you've got the likes of Ferrari, McLaren, BMW is also getting quite a good showing here tonight, Stefan.
Yeah, I'm really surprised actually because when I started out in Assetto Corsa Competizione, there was basically no one really using the BMW. And I think it has maybe something to do with the recent patches, but also the popularity from drivers like Niels Neujoks in the G2 esports series, who is really promoting and pushing the car and showing its potential.
Well, funny story. That was my very first car in Assetto Corsa Competizione. Was the BMW. I just find it so stable because when you start the game by default, that is your car. So that was the one that I stuck with, and it was really stable. I enjoyed using it, and then realised that it was about 20 minutes slower than every other car on the track. But I haven't tried it again recently, so it'd be interesting to see if the BOP patches have changed that somewhat.
I still think it's probably, if looking at it from like an alien perspective, it might not be the absolute fastest car with like the most potential in there, but it's definitely on top because it's kind of similar to the Boatley, which we all love. It's more stable. It has absolute amount of power, and I think it is really comfortable to use, especially in rain.
Well, it's great to see that Michael's already getting it rough from chat the moment. He's getting shouted at for the in-game volume. That's right, keep it coming, folks. Let's have a look then. 9 minutes left to go in the session, and I guess now you'll start to see some relative times come in. It looks like 204s are going to be the order of the day. Maybe we'll be able to get into the high 203s as the times start to come down, but I mean, we're seeing the track. Obviously, there is a drier line appearing, but with the volume of water coming down, I can't see it getting much drier.
I was actually just thinking that you can see a huge amount of puddles right off the track. So one thing you definitely do not want to do is leave the track at any cost. So not risk an incident going off track, damaging your car, losing the time, and maybe messing up your pit strategy, which is also, I think, a very special one for this race, right, David?
It certainly is. And Stefan, I don't know if you've realised it, but the drivers have heard me, and they've basically told me to shut my face because Niels Najok has just went and done a 2:03.342, and the ease in which 6 cars have already jumped into that time would mean that there is definitely a drier line appearing, and there's a bit more speed.
It's absolutely puzzling for me to kind of comprehend what Niels is kind of like going through right now to put in such a time in these tricky conditions. But I think you're right. Looking now at it from the cockpit perspective, we can definitely see that the ideal race line is not as wet as the other parts of the track.
And I wonder, actually, you notice Niels is deliberately choosing the wetter lines. I wonder if he's trying to cool his tyres down.
Yes, it looks like that he might have put in, more pressure so that his wet tires are quicker on temperature, and he's, quicker and has his car ready at an earlier stage, maybe a lap earlier as the rest of the field to get the most out of the track conditions.
I think that's going to be one of the things that we'll just have to keep an eye on. Hang on. Let's have a look there. Who did we just get mentioned there? Hang on. Blanca has just went straight up with 203 in the Audi. Oh, and then Neil straight into the 202s. That's crazy, right? No word of a lie, right? I struggle to do a 2-minute lap in the dry here.
It's just
What is that about?
when you think you got a fast lap, and then Niels Naujoks comes along and just shows you what's possible.
Yeah, that is crazy, crazy stuff. So 6.5 minutes left to go in tonight's Rain Meister event. A very good evening to everyone that is joining us on the stream. The numbers are going up and up and up, and you are very welcome to join us on this one-off event tonight. And I think we're looking to do more of these. We're looking to engage the community even more and bring you guys in on the fun. And you know, it's so much fun being part of this. Oh, Richard Schaefer in the Butler Pal Motorsport BMW goes over and goes into 7th place in the BMW. That is that's a bit awesome.
It's just like anyone in the chat who would have forecasted to have like 2 Audis and 2 Mercedes into the in the top 6.
Hang on, two Audis, a Mercedes, a McLaren on P1, and a BMW, and a Lambo in the way.
I'm actually really glad that like the top 3 wet cars were banned from this event. This just opens it up to be so much more exciting and see so many different cars in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, and you see the time spread as well for 23 cars. As difficult as these conditions are, 2.5 seconds, that is actually quite enjoyable. Nico Ull here in the FWD Honda NSX, the number 306 outfit at the moment. I think it's safe to say that he's exploring the track at the moment, 5.5 seconds behind your leader right now. And yeah, he's not making it look bad just now.
He looks like he's definitely looking for a really tough challenge in already abysmal conditions. So the Honda is also one of the cars that's, I don't want to say punished, but really challenging car because of the BOPs.
That's a nice looking car though, isn't it? It's really one of the nicer looking ones.
Absolutely.
So 4 minutes 15 left to go in qualifying here for our Rain Meister event. And let's have a look. If we can go, producer, up to the pole position, just have a look at what our pole time's sitting at just now. We can give you an idea of where we're sitting at. Anytime you like, producer. We haven't had the, you say, still Nils Naujoks in first place there, 2:02.616. And Stefan, 0.6 of a second ahead of Bonka in second place there.
But we got someone pushing in, so there might be an opportunity to push Niels off the throne. But oh no! Looks like in the last sector, Ballerini lost a tiny bit of time, and he was getting really close to Naujoks there.
Yeah, he certainly was close, but no cigar. But he's still got another lap to potentially try again on that one. 3:15 left to go on the clock. This is Marcel Reichert in the MR Motorsports BMW 697 car. And Marcel's been doing very well in the Academy Cup and some of the endurance races. So I'd expect to see him jumping up a little bit further. But we'll have to see, because he's just coming through the final corner just now. And what can Marcel Reichert do just now? He's out of the Coca-Cola curve, across the line. Can he improve? Yes, he can. P11, that's a little bit better. 3 BMWs in the top 11.
That looks really amazing right now. And from what I've seen like just a minute ago, it looks like that we still had a few drivers struggling to put in a clean lap and get a time set. So we have to check if that's still the case, or if everyone just managed to put in a lap right now, because it looks like quite a few drivers are really struggling with these conditions.
Yeah, very difficult conditions indeed. And it's now or never, really, because by the time you get yourself out of pit lane, get your warm-up lap done and get across the line, this is going to be your final lap or two coming up just now. This is Igor Ogorodnikov in the Godzilla just now, the number 41 Nissan GTR. Currently 1.6 seconds behind your pole sitter just now. And we've got 3 GTRs. Make that 4 GTRs in the top 20. He goes across the line and jumps up into the top 10 then. Igor Ogorodnikov into position number 7. Is anyone going to get up to Niels in that first place? I've got to be honest, I don't think they are.
Yeah, I also don't think that there will be anyone in contention for Niels Neujoks in this qualifying right now, but it might be a different story in the race. It all depends on the T1 actually.
I'm trying my best not to think about that, Stefan. I'm so scared thinking about that. But we were on about track evolution. That goes across the line. Oh, wow. Alexander Dorica was down in 17th position and suddenly fires himself up in the 911 Porsche into 4th position. So that is a huge lap there. And again, still potentially on his final lap just now.
That was some absolute magic happen right now. And I think everyone who is kind of on a hot lap right now can absolutely use the, well, at least a little bit drier looking line for like, you know, making it happen and get the best time possible to push into the top field.
Bonka comes out from 3rd place then. Mitya Bonka comes across the line, cannot improve though. 3rd place is going to be the best that he can do, and it's still at the moment Niels Neujoks in pole position with that McLaren. That is the only McLaren in the top 25 cars.
Basically, I think it's basically the only McLaren on the grid, if I am correct.
Point still stands. So qualifying is done and dusted. Cars coming through on their final laps. This is Igor Ogorodnikov in the Nissan GTR round the Coca-Cola curve round turn number 16 for the final time. This is going to be a big lap. He's already half second up, potentially going to move him up to 4th place. What can he do? Igor Ogorodnikov goes into 4th place. Called it. There we go. Love it. Thank you very much to our producer whispering the timings into our ears. This is Rafael Borges Marini. He wins it. Final chicane. That could have been it. He was on track. He was 4/10 up. This is Martin Larenc in the Connection Lost Racing. Usually we see them in the 404 machine, but tonight in the 171 BMW, he is looking a little bit faster, looking to improve on his previous last. Niels van der Kekkel up into 7th place there, but we're looking at Martin Larenc through the chicane for the final time then. And he is looking fast. I just don't know if he's going to be able to improve a wide line round through the Coca-Cola curve. And what can Martin Larenc do? He goes across the line. 5th place then for Martin Larenc. Beautiful improvement. And I think that is going to be your top 10 then, Stefan. So a very interesting end to qualifying.
That looked fast. It definitely looked furious. And in the meantime, while everybody was just kind of struggling and trying to kick Niels off pole position, he actually just managed to put in an even faster time, like Luna is pointing out in chat, and increased by even 2/10. So an absolutely incredible pace by Niels. But kudos to everyone in basically not only the top 10, but to everyone in the field getting through these very tricky conditions and set a time.
Yep, the final car's going to cross the line then, and it does look like that is it for qualifying. Oliver Vogt, didn't imagine him being so far down the list, but there you go then. Pole position for Niels Neujoks, and 2nd place is going to be Borges Ballerini. 3rd place is Mitya Bonka. 4th place for Luca Kreuzer. And then it's Larenc and Igor Ogorodnikov in 5th and 6th place. Schaefer and Alexander Doricott in 7th and 8th. Niels van der Kekelt and Thomas Klipp in 9th and 10th place. It's Pride and Viktor Nufreev in 11th and 12th. Bullwinkle and Petit in 13th and 14th. Weiss and Prendergast in 15th and 16th. Then it's Reichert and Fusi on row number 9. 19th and 20th is Jones and Sheriff Truly. 21st and 22nd is Schroeder and Paulik. 23rd and 24th is Roscoe and Bally. Drez and Cruz line up 25th and 26th, with Beerman and Frank on row 14, 27th and 28th. Kalaxai and Ul on 29th and 30th. 31st and 32nd is Matic and Boardman. DeLuca and Atta in 33rd and 34th. And I'm running out of steam here because I've never had to go down to this many drivers before. Stavrakis and Oliver Vogt in 35th and 36th. It's McKean and Palmbergen in 37th and 38th position. We've got Robar at the back of the grid, not setting a time, but I am sure we will see him on the grid. 3.5 minutes left to go. Stefan, are you ready?
So just take a deep breath, David. If we look at the times and actually take Niels Najoks out of the equation, we have a very, very tight-packed top 6 or even top 7. So this will be definitely where we need to keep our eyes on and see how it goes in the first laps and who will be able to like settle into the rhythm the fastest and adapt to the tricky conditions with all the spray and all the fog around him.
Yeah, it's I don't know what to expect. I've got to be honest, Stefan, purely because it could go one of two ways. Now, I'm obviously, when you see sim racing and you see in the wet conditions like this, you immediately fear for the worst because you've been in it yourself. You know how much carnage there can be at turn one, but I have yet to be surprised by the level of quality on the drivers. And I don't know if that's unique to the sim grid, but I can't find it a coincidence that every race that I've commentated on, I've expected the worst and been very, very pleasantly surprised by the standard of driving.
Yeah, we got very, very well experienced drivers here in the grid who, interestingly enough, every one of these guys does not want to give you even an inch of space on the track, and they are fighting for positions, but also because of the experience they have and, you know, the amount of time they have been racing, they do know the consequences of a wrong decision. So their reflexes and their instincts and basically everything they have done so far all just culminates into like a setting like this, and that's why it's so special and so glorious to witness them racing, as it might look really tough and really close, but for them it's like just, you know, business as usual.
So the reason I'm laughing, Stefan, is I'm watching YouTube chat as well, and Meet Bonka has gone, why am I not on P3? And I look to the screen, of course he's not. And I'm like, where's Mitya? Where has he gone? And other people in chat are like, press drive, Mitya. So I'm hoping it's because he's not got himself actually physically on the grid. And I think, yeah, because we can see the gap there. You can see the 1, you can see the 24, and you can see a gap on where Mitya is. Now, everyone else is shown on the track, and Mitya isn't. And I'm getting a little bit worried about that. Because Luca Kreuzer is shown in 3rd.
Yeah, and he's stating that he is not able to click on
drive. He can't drive. Oh, well. Stefan, you can break the news on that one. I can't even see him on the grid actually, so yeah. We'll find that one. I just find it strange how everyone else is showing, but he's not right now. We'll give it to 30 seconds because obviously in the sim you press drive on 30 seconds and then everybody suddenly starts readying up. We'll see what happens there.
That's really unusual. I honestly have never seen something like that.
Yeah, I agree with chat. I think Mitya is going to have to format Windows. There we go. He's on the grid apparently, but not in P3, is he?
No.
Oh no! Right. Okay. Let's see what's going on here because P2's now just disappeared as well. So we'll have to figure out. Oh, there we go. That's it. We're all back. Kreuzer has appeared, Larenk, and I think... Oh no, we cut to a different camera angle.
So we've lost Ortiz and we lost Bonka.
Well, Stefan, how are you enjoying your race here with the Sim Grid? Never a dull moment.
It's off to a brilliant start, and I'm just wondering if it's the classic commentator curse I'm bringing in here.
I hope not. So Mitya Bonka is saying that he's been disqualified.
So we're getting some big Fs in chat, so just press F.
There we go. I've popped my commiserations in for our for our driver that is not joining us. So that was a very short night then for Michia Bonka. Now, oh, he disconnected. Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's really, really unfortunate. But you know, with a race ahead of you in these conditions, the just focus on staying on the track and avoid anything crazy, and you will be promoted a few positions, I guess.
Yeah, it is an hour race. So again, that might be a blessing in disguise, Stefan. A lot of support, and it's fantastic to see everybody on here on YouTube. Guys, let us know who you are out here supporting tonight. We wanna help you cheer on your favourite drivers. Who do you think is going to take the win tonight? And how many drivers do you think are going to survive turn one? And we have a hashtag pray for turn one.
Absolutely right. And while we watch the guys trying to bring their wet tires and brakes on temperatures, which is really a struggle in these conditions. Even though we have like a calming 23 degrees, I'm pretty sure it's not that easy to get everything on temperature and be ready for T1.
Stefan, in Scotland, that's what we call tops off weather here. 23 degrees. That is a balmy summer afternoon here, complete with the rain. But we get ready to go.
23 degrees and some light rain.
We get 23 degrees for about 15 seconds over the whole year. That's it. That's our summer gone. But we are getting ready to go green here in our one-off Rain Meister event here at Sim Grid. It's David and Stefan taking you through all of the action, and a whole hour as the cars start to split up into their left-right splits respectively. We have just got 3 corners left to go. Stefan, what are you expecting to see here tonight?
I'm expecting, well, I don't want to say a lot of action, because I'm expecting a lot of action in a positive way, meaning that we are going to see really, really close racing. We will see fight for positions, and everybody has to do a mandatory pit stop, but with no mandatory fuel or tire change. So what is going to be really crucial in this race is to not have any accident, no crash, do not damage your car, because if you have to do another additional pit stop, your chances of being in a good position are basically gone out of the window. But with these track conditions, you really never know, so I guess we will see a lot of exciting moves here.
Here we go then, the cars get ready to go. We're waiting for the green flag, and away we go then. 60 minutes, and that is Richard Schaefer already into some trouble there. In fact, no, that was Andrew Doricott. That was Alexander Doricott, sorry, into the wall there in the Porsche. Down into turn one, then what is going to happen here? Oh my goodness me, we wait with bated breath. How? Oh, there's contact. That is going to be the GTR. That's Igor Ogorodnikov that's involved in that as well. He's spun round. Sheriff Truly managed to get through it as well. And here we go then, Pasquale De Luca. They've got a Mercedes. That's a McLaren, excuse me. That is De Luca going off there. There is Igor Ogorodnikov. And down from 4th to 37th. My goodness me.
We also saw Vogt in the Porsche sliding out, unfortunately, into T2.
Yeah, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Yellow flag still flying here at the Nurburgring. That is going to be a sight you're going to get very, very used to over the hour. And look at the track it has reset. That is Boris Maurice Frank in the Keck Esports Audi has dropped to the back of the grid. He was in 26th place there, but the cars starting to settle themselves down. It is now we missed that. Martin Larenc into the leads.
Absolutely. It looks like the positions are just getting sorted through by the game right now. So
I was getting excited there.
We have to wait a lap until everybody goes across the line. Because I was also just surprised to not see Niels Dayux in first place, and I was like, what happened there?
Yeah, that's you hate to see it, and I think it's just getting caught up in the action. But there we go, Niels back in the lead then, and I say back, he never went anywhere. It was just our time screens taking a little bit of a moment to catch up. But that spray is absolutely incredible. The concentration, Stefan, you've got to have as a driver to keep an eye on your braking marks and watch the driver in front as well is absolutely top notch, isn't it?
Yes, especially that your brake marks in the wet behind another car is completely different from what you're used to in the wet. And we already have the first driver heading into the pits. It's the V12 Aston.
Yeah, that's the 94 of Fuzi that's gone into the pit lane already. That's an unusual one. I wonder if he's had a little bit of damage. It might have been him that went into Igor Ogorodnikov, actually. That would maybe explain why he's wanting to pit and get that sort of... Oh my goodness me, we've got a huge battle going on down the start finish straight for 30th position. 31st position. That's DeLuca, Stafarakis, Atta, and Ogorodnikov just at the back there as well. Ogorodnikov fires up the inside. There's a bit of contact as well. Oh, he's not having any prisoners right now. So Ogorodnikov moves up a position, and Ogorodnikov, I think, is now into P32 because that was Stafarakis in the Lamborghini, who has got Maurice Frank just behind him now. So yeah, wild stuff. There's Marcel Fuzi out of the pits.
I was just on the edge of my seat because from the camera angle it looked like they were daring to go 3 or even 4 wide into T1, and that's just not what you want to do.
No, absolutely not. It really, really isn't. So 56 minutes left to go. And yeah, this is very, very dangerous times right now, Stefan, because I think a lot of the drivers are just getting into their rhythm, getting into their stride right now. As Cody Pride makes a wonderful move up on the inside of Kilp there for P5. That was fantastic. So determined to take that place.
Everybody move out of the way because Godzilla is coming through.
Oh. Here he comes. I will not be doing that again for the rest of the stream, I promise. Oh, what a move from Johannes Weiss to the right of Cruz there. And what a move to take that position on the entrance of Hatzenbecht Bogen. That was stunning. What a move. Oh, card round. That's the number 36. It's all gone wrong. That was Druez in the Ferrari that was facing the wrong way at the chicane, and that actually was a get out of jail card free for several drivers there. That could have been so much worse.
Yeah, we unfortunately saw even the Porsche punting into him. I think it was number 8, Roscoff, who kind of nudged him with his front. So already another car with damage, unfortunately.
Yeah, and this is just so wild to watch as we see the BMW trying to go around the outside of 2 cars there. Managed to go around the outside of 1. That was amazing stuff. Uhl has been made short work of. Next on the list is going to be Cruz up in 19th place. So beautiful move there from Matzik. This is just a thrilling race so far. You just don't know where to look right now, Stefan.
Yeah, I think our producer is kind of struggling right now where to point the cameras because there's so much going on track. And honestly, I have to say that I'm a bit surprised. I would have expected the guys to, settle a bit into the rhythm and see, what's going on and how the conditions are and how everyone's doing. But it seems like nobody's taking any prisoners and they're just going for it.
So knowing some of the drivers as well as I do, you better buckle up. As we see Igor Ogorodnikov coming out in trouble again, and that was Stafarakis as well. Now Stafarakis and dude, what has happened to Reichardt? He's dropping down the order here.
We have another punt going on there.
Stafarakis, let's have a look here.
Was going a bit wide.
He just turned straight into the number 24 there. So again, not using the mirrors there. And that was Borges Ballerini on the comeback drive. So poor Borges starting in pit lane already up in the P29. That, we need to just say a little bit about that, Stefan. That is a brilliant recovery start for him, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And I just had to really laugh to myself because somebody stated in chat that this is definitely more exciting than watching Formula 1.
Who's going to do the meow noise? But Kieran Prendergast. Oh, contact into turn 1, and that's Kieran Prendergast. And big moment there. I think that was that not Niels van der Keukel behind him? That was Niels van der Keukel and Prendergast coming out of the contact, and Prendergast has been absolutely mugged by the Godzilla. The Godzilla taking a huge chomp out of that Ferrari, and Godzilla is the victor out of that one.
And I don't know if it was just luck or just the amount of his skill that he did not lose the Ferrari there and could just line it up again to gain traction and, just stay in the race and not get any more damage. So that was an absolute brilliant maneuver there.
Rafael Borges Ballerini here on the comeback drive. He is down in P27 right now, trying to pick his way through. And Stefan, is this what you expected from the start of the race?
Honestly, it's more than I expected, as we see Ogorodnikov right now is on a mission and he moves in, he tries to find a way through, but there's just not enough room to make a move in these conditions. So my mind is absolutely blown right now.
Yeah, this is awesome stuff. Oh, and there's a car, 2 cars off into the gravel, 2 cars off into the pity litter, and that was at the Dunlop curve. So that was, let's have a look here, that was McKean in the Ferrari, and wow, you hate to say it, but Borges and Ballerini then, that's going to be another 2 positions for him. So easy pickings for that. Vasily Anufriev up into 8th place just now, just ahead of that Niels van der Kakelt GTR. So this is the battle of the big monsters. Look at the speed that Niels has got in that car. On the closing speed on the other GTR, it just looks so much faster.
He looks much more confident with his car right there, and I was just like really again nearly jumping out of my seat because he was getting so close to Anufriev in the rain, and I was like, that was just like an inch, and now they even touch a little bit, and he's punching Anufriev out of the
naughty
race.
from Niels van der Kakelt there. That was deliberate contact into the back, under braking. Certainly the first one you could maybe forgive as just locking up the brakes, but the second was a punt. Mike Veerman tries to keep hold of that slide, almost drives straight into the side of the car there, but it was contact.
That was a nasty.
There was no need for that, really. That was silly. Yeah, that was the 21 of Sheriff Truly. And the thing is, as well, Stefan, is that it's not just a case of not looking at your mirrors. You've literally got a massive HUD display that comes up and shows you it.
Yes, so especially in these conditions, I think it's very crucial to keep an eye on your radar, except you never know if anybody of the guys actually has turned it off, because that's an option, but I would rather not do that in a race like that.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point indeed. I'm surprised, I've got to be honest, that we've all got, I think we've got nearly all the cars on the same lap 10 minutes into the race. And that just shows that, yeah, we've had a couple of spins here and there and a couple of cars going off to the gravel, but no absolutely massive moments.
And unfortunately, I have to read in chat that Meteor Bonka got disconnected again from the server, so very sorry.
Yeah, that's not the best. It's not the best, but we'll hopefully see Bonka back at some of the future events here at the Sim Grid. He's a very, very fast driver. But to have a look at this, Igor Ogorodnikov back in the thick of it as well, just ahead of Jean-Paul Palmbergen here in the Mercedes. Palmbergen has got McKean and DeLuca behind him as well, so he is a bit of a cork in that bottle right now, and Batty at the back there in the Lamborghini has decided to join the party there. A little bit of a slide from from Oliver Vogt in the Porsche there, and that is going to be Igor Ogorodnikov every day of the week, sliding it up the inside into the final turn, and I think that Porsche is really starting to struggle for traction.
Yeah, as I said, Ogorodnikov is really on a mission, because he's actually in a part of the field where he does not want to be. You want to have a free road ahead with a pace like that. So he's really trying hard now to get in front of the pack, to have like a free track ahead of him, no annoying spray, and just push and get back maybe into the let's say top 15 or even top 10.
Here's a man we haven't really seen much of, Chris Jones there in the 33rd position in that Lamborghini. Now, how has that happened? Prendergast is back ahead of Niels, and Niels van der Kakelt was on an incredible pace. He's dropped right back, 3.5 seconds now behind Kilp. So, yeah, that's a bit of a strange one. We'll have to see what's happened there. But Prendergast back ahead of Niels van der Kakelt.
we might have just missed a moment there for him. So just, maybe just running wide or going off track a little bit. You never know what happens. But I don't know, is it my eyes, or is the ideal race line already looking a tiny bit clearer than the rest of the track?
That's actually a very good spot there, Stefan. Quite clearly a different shade of the racetrack there, so that will be a little bit cooler. And now I think we're going to start looking at tyre management as well. We do have a mandatory pit stop. I can't see slick tyres being a choice there. Oh, look at that. That's Niels van der Kukelt tries to dive it up the inside. There's contact again. More needless contact from Prendergast. The move was already done. Van der Kukelt had that move stuck up the inside of the Coca-Cola curve, and that is going to be Prendergast down into 9th place then. And he's going to have to watch out now because Pollock is just behind in the BMW.
That was a really bold move, actually, and I dare to say that he would not have been able to even hold the line if it wouldn't have been for Prendergast there, basically giving him the support. So that was just a merciless dive bomb there.
Yep, sometimes you have to absolutely yeet it into the corners there. As we see a Ferrari, it looks like locking up the brakes. That was Boardman in the Ferrari there on the back of Uhl, but managed to think better of it. This is Luciano Cruz in the Raven Porsche number 123, as it was Andy Boardman locking up the brakes into turn one. Look at the gap that's opened up to Uhl in front of him now, 0.6 of a second. That's going to go up to well over a second as well. So there we go, 45 minutes just over left to go in the race, and it's been an exhausting 15 minutes, hasn't it, Stefan?
Yeah, I think we need to be more careful because we are running at a risk that we are losing our voice if we keep up like that.
Oh, don't you worry, I'll be asleep by half an hour. It's all good, it's all good. So here we go, Josh McCain with Atta just behind in the Mercedes, and Oliver Vogt just in front of him. This is the battle for 21st, 22nd and 23rd. So that is, in fact, actually, that is Atta just ahead in the Mercedes. So that is actually Batty just behind him in the Lamborghini. And look who is behind Batty. That is Fuzi, who went into the pits.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this is actually today, that's my favorite car. That's my driver of the day. He's battling in the big Aston V12, the unicorn car that you never see on track. And he's doing a really brilliant job with his early pit stop. He managed to, increase the pace and is now right nearly, trying to push past the pack ahead of him. He looks to be on a much more consistent and faster pace than the guys in front of him.
I think you're absolutely right on that one, and that strategy might be enough to throw him further up the field, because essentially he's already done his mandatory pit stop, unless it has to be done at a certain time. So he's done his pit stop then. So he's
basically taking 2 positions while the guys in front of him are running wide. So that's opening up a little bit of a gap to even push more.
That is incredible. Marcel Fuzi. Do you know what he's done, Stefan? He's headed over to Coach Dave Academy, and he's got one of those amazing setups, the wet weather setups. And if you want to get yourself one of these masterful, well-researched setup packs, head over to Coach Dave Academy. If you use the link from simgrid.com, you will get yourself a cheeky little bonus on some of the other packs that they have got on offer as well. But they have got a bundle just for wet weather setup. So if you want to get your game on in the wet, then head over there and grab some of the professional setups and get your game on. In the meantime, back to the track then. It's Axel Petit here in the Mercedes. And the Mercedes, I've got to say, Stefan, that's 3 of them now in the top 10. They're really starting to come into their own.
I have to say that I'm not surprised, because the AMG is a brilliant car, and especially if you know what you're doing in terms of setup, and you know how the car feels, how the car behaves, and what you need the car to do, and you're able to trick the setup and to your benefits, then this car is absolutely brilliant around Nurburgring, especially in the wet.
Yeah, that's a brilliant point then. Just also looking with just over 40 minutes left to go, I mean, that gap, we haven't spoken about him, but Niels Naujoks, 6 seconds up in the lead in that McLaren. He's all by himself right now.
I would dare to say that's like what we see here is business as usual for Niels, and that's just unfortunate for him because it doesn't get him much screen time with the pace he's running.
Yeah, it's difficult because obviously we try and bring you the best of the action. Oh, and that is going to be Vice trying to fight up the inside of Sheriff Truly here. And yeah, not going to happen. The Audi's going to have to back out of it, and he's going to have to watch out because Veerman is right behind him as well. But Sheriff Truly in the Durex Motorsports machine there, dropping back quite far.
Yeah, it's really crazy to see when the guys pull off a maneuver like that, because you're basically making way and getting off the ideal race line onto a maybe even more slippery part of the track. So having both of them being able to kind of recover and keep the car on track is absolutely brilliant to watch.
Certainly is, but have a look at the TRs here. You've got 4 of them in the top 15. They seem to be a car that really do enjoy the extreme types of weather. We've seen them do very well in the dry and they do very well in the wet, but what they're not so good at is that changing in between positions. So where it's going from wet to dry, that's when they start to struggle. Oh, we've got a drive-through there for Igor Ogorodnikov. So that, I would imagine, is going to be for track limits.
That might as well be, and our kind producer is trying to find out while we watch him take this brilliantly looking Godzilla around the wet track. So that is really unfortunate, and he as well has to do his mandatory pit stop, so that will definitely throw him at the back of the field, unfortunately.
Yeah, Igor did have a decent start to the race, got himself a good position on the grid, and has pretty much binned it all in the first couple of laps with that contact, and then in with that drive-through as well. So that really scuppers his chances. It doesn't put him out of contention, but it really makes things very, very difficult for him indeed. I think so he's coming a moment there and almost goes straight into the barrier on the pit entrance there, and it was for an unsafe rejoin. So it'll have been he's had another moment and rejoined onto the track in an unsafe manner.
Oh, did you just see the battered and hammered Nissan?
It's fine. It's fine. It'll buff out, mate. It's a little bit of teacup, as we see Niels van der Kekkel here giving real big pressure to Pride in that other GTR up in 7th and 8th place here. This is a brilliant little battle, and that rain really starting to hammer down now.
I'm just really surprised to see Niels van der Kekkel to get so close to Pride in front of him. It's just amazing. It's just he's really pushing it, and just all the spray that's being thrown into the air by Pride.
And the 2 of them are actually starting to catch Petite up there in 6th place as well. So the power of the GTR obviously has a big moment there for Pride, and that puts him side by side. Niels van der Kekkel, like taking candy from a baby, is going to have that position every single day of the week. Pride is going to try and hold on right the outside, but there is absolutely nothing that he can do. Niels van der Kekkel then moves up into P7. Next up on his list is going to be the Mercedes of Petit. This is Richard Schaefer in the Butler Pal Motorsport BMW. That thing looking very, very stable indeed. Is just behind Alexander Dorica in the Porsche. And the Porsches, I think, have actually been starting to struggle quite considerably for traction here.
Yeah, it looks like Dorica is the only one left in the top half of the field who is able to kind of keep the pace of the top drivers there.
Yeah, in the old Porsche as well, and that is no mean feat trying to keep on to that car. But I think that BMW is going to be past him in just a couple of moments.
Yeah, you can really see actually his car struggling for traction, as in the beautiful onboard we saw the traction control really slowing him down, and Schaefer is over all his rear, so it looks like the BMW is planted and he has a better pace, but it's just, finding the way
through. And a huge moment for the BMW! Sorry about that, but Schaefer has lost it on the exit of turn number 4 there, just on the entrance to turn 5, all on his own. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, can we get an F in chat for him? Poor Richard Schaefer lost it all by himself there.
This
That
is
is,
so unfortunate in the moment. I actually say that he looks planted and is doing a good job. He loses it. So absolutely incredible. And yeah, I'll need to take this commentator curse out of you once we end the session, mate.
I was the way to talk about the BMW and how much I love its stupid front face. It looks
Yeah.
like it's constantly shocked when you look at it from the front. It's like you've told it something absolutely absurd.
Yeah, and I have to say that one of the things that I'm looking forward the most is actually the 2 new cards we are going to get with the DLC. But something happened from our producer right
Yeah,
now.
that was T. He was up into fourth place. Ah, that's what it is. He's pit. Aye, panic
Oh,
over.
okay.
Panic over. I can hear my producer screaming in my ear. By the way, how professional does that sound when we say that, Stefan? When we talk about a producer in our ear?
I
It's
would
quite
say
cool,
that's
isn't it?
like it's kind of fun having that on a live stream, because usually I think the news guys on television have to endure the same. So I kind of have a understanding for how hard their job is.
I love it. I love it. Oliver, vote then. We're here, seeing here in the green and purple Keck Sim Racing machine, the number 22. And who was that just went off? Was that? Oh no, that was Maurice Frank in the other Kecky sports car. Oh, that is. To be fair, Frank wasn't like massively high up, but yeah, you still hate to see it. So Frank losing positions hand over foot. This is the battle for 29th and 30th position here. Chris Jones trying to take that position. Sorry, for 28th and 29th, excuse me. We've got Oliver Vogt just ahead in the Porsche. So yeah, that Lamborghini really pushing quite hard, and the majority of the cars in the lower half of the 20s have all pitted. So we see Marcel Fuzzi is the highest pitted car right now. I've got to be honest, I actually fancy him to get into the top 10.
Yeah, me as well. And the positive thing right now is he has a clear track ahead of him, so he can focus and just push into his rhythm to gain even more positions with, basically I think all of the top 10 guys still need to pit, right?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely. In fact, they do. All the top 12 still need to pit at the moment. So Weiss is actually the highest pitted person at the moment. So Johannes Weiss in the Audi is in the pound seats right now.
Exactly, and I'm really looking forward to when we have like the top guys like Niels Najoks, Kreuzer, Dorico, Kilp and Van de Kerkelt heading into the pits, because then we really need to pay attention when which position they will come out back again.
Now, Van de Kerkelt under real pressure here again from Pride. And I wasn't expecting this, because Pride let that place go quite easily and he's caught right back up. And Van de Kerkelt is, I think, under a little bit of pressure right now.
Yeah, I think it, might been have a decision by Pride to say like, okay, I just let him move through and push his pace and see if I can stick with him. Maybe he, overheats his tires or does a mistake or something, because it's always a different job to be in front and have a car up your neck, breathing down your neck and pushing and, stressing you out every turn.
That's a very, very good point. Now I'm going to use my mathematics skill to try and work out just how far behind Fuzzy is on the race leader just now. And I think, from the looks of it, he is about 45 seconds behind your race leader at the moment. Here's Neil in towards Dunlop, and they're usually on the start-finish straight. So yeah, it must be more. But half a lap, I would say, behind your race leader.
So I dare to say that that won't be enough to take over the lead.
100%. Because the pit stop is probably going to be, I would imagine, about 25-30 seconds if it's just tires.
Yeah, and taking into account that the guys don't even have to switch tires, I think.
Oh no, wait, we've got penalty for Chris Jones, but have a look at that as well. Igor Ogorodnikov has got another penalty. He had a drive-through. He's now got a 15-second penalty slapped onto his time as well.
For avoidable contact with the number 997. So again getting punished for the harsh moves he did.
Now, let's put 2 and 2 together. We saw a couple of laps ago Leon Schroeder rejoining the track. And I wonder if that's where the contact, or that was the aftermath of the contact with Ogorodnikov. There is Niels van de Kekelt, though, still being chased down by Pride. And Pride is going to have to run in towards turn 1 here.
But Van de Kekelt is taking the inside line, so I don't think there will be any chance for Pride to get past there.
We wait with bated breath as Pride tries to get the cut back. He does it! What a move into turn 1! But that's going to be the inside line for Van de Kekelt. Can he hang him round to dry? Oh, that's such a shame for Pride because he had the move there. I thought he might have got better traction out of that corner. But he is looking very, very menacing right now, Stefan.
That was such a close move. I think there was just, enough space to put a sheet of paper between these two cars when they moved into T1 and changed position.
Yeah, fantastic switchback there pointed out by Pika. We hope you enjoyed that one because that was great fun. And that is going to drag them down in towards the reins of Pollock down in 7th place there in the BMW. He's 4 seconds behind, but if they keep holding each other up like this, as we see Naujoks, a stunning lap now. That gap between him and Kreuzer in 2nd place, 10.5 seconds.
As somebody just previously said in chat, I think Niels is like really on autopilot right now. He's on cruise control and he's just in his rhythm, in his zone. So, so his last lap was actually just a 10th slower than the best lap, for example, Niels van der Kekelt did.
Wow, that is incredible pace. And the thing is as well is you just said it there, Stefan, that state of autopilot. I've mentioned it before, that state of flow where you're doing things subconsciously. You let your talent and your ability take over, and quite often you'll be down to 20 minutes left to go in the race and you can't remember what you've just done in the past 25 minutes.
Yes, exactly. And I honestly have to say, based on my own experience, to anyone in the chat who is thinking right now, geez, I gotta jump into the McLaren and just drive the car. It's so easy and it dominates in the wet. Don't underestimate it. It's like an easy to learn car, but it's very, very hard to master, and it's a very difficult car to push to the limit. So what Niels is doing right now in the front is just beyond any comprehension for a mere mortal guy like I am.
I think that's doing yourself a massive disservice there, Stefan. But a very good evening to everyone joining us on the stream. We have reached the halfway point of the race. This is the Rain Meister event here from the Sim Grid in association with Coach Dave Academy and Crossmaster. It's David and Stefan here, just having a bit of a chill night tonight. We're just enjoying the action with yourself. We don't normally do the one-off events, but yeah, this was too good an opportunity to pass up. So we're broken the back there. Half an hour has come and gone, and here is Niels Naujoks already on the back. Now that is a Porsche, and that is a purple Porsche, so that is going to be one of the Keck Sim Racing team.
Yeah, he's already on the move through the field and starting to lap the first cars. And oh, we have Maurice Frank off the track again, and it looks like he actually very hardly hits the wall. So
right, definitely an F in chat for that one. That is a wheel failure from the looks of it, because that car just didn't steer at all. It just went straight on.
And he already had his pit stop, so that's gonna be another pit stop because of he was just locking up the tires, trying to kind of avoid going off track, but it was just no chance through the gravel to slow down the car.
Yeah, that is not what you want to see at all. But either way, 28 minutes left to go, and that's Martin Laurent. Now, Martin was quite high up on the order there, but obviously gets taken right down. Petit, who was up in the top 5, now down into 19th place. Oh, and that's a big moment there for the BMW there. Gets it all wrong coming into Schumacheretta's, and that car is really, really struggling. I wonder if Laurent has just pitted, because that car is really, really struggling, and it would suggest he's maybe on cold tyres.
Yeah, goodness gracious, that was just a huge moment. I thought he's going to lose it, but he was actually he pitted in lap 5, as our lovely producer just whispered in
Yeah,
our
of course
ears.
he did, because we wondered why he dropped all the way down the order.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a strange one. Anyway, Petit just in front of him in the Mercedes decided to take the scenic route over the chicane. That's going to be a slowdown penalty, surely, as Laurent tries to think about it. And that is definitely going to be a warning for track limits on that one, for sure there, Stefan.
He was just, you know, there's this saying, when in doubt, just go flat out. And I think that was just his, his mantra right now. Just take it through there, no mercy.
When in doubt, it's rallycross, baby. That's right. Petit then is still ahead just of Martin Laurent. Oh, and it goes from bad to worse for Igor Ogorodnikov. And there was another car in there as well. Did he lose it all by himself? No.
They didn't even touch each other.
Synchronized swimming from the pair of them. That was the 22. So that is Oliver Vogt and Igor Ogorodnikov. Right, let's stay with this, because this is a cat fight right now. Ogorodnikov has had the absolute night to forget right now, and Oliver Vogt's night has not been too much better. Ogorodnikov was in the top 10 and was duking it out, and has really, really suffered. Had a drive-through penalty, had a 15-second time penalty as a stop goal. And yeah, it's been one to forget for Ogorodnikov.
Yeah, unfortunately, it just keeps getting worse and worse. So that's really, you know, also, I think, kind of a bit of a mental challenge for you to remain calm and keep your focus, because what happens is when you get aggravated, when you get stressed, when you get angry, you keep making more and more mistakes, and you lose your rhythm and your focus. So that's really the challenge for him right now. And he's another huge moment, nearly losing Godzilla, but he catches the car again. So it looks like he is struggling in the car. He's definitely struggling.
What I love is he's having all these moments, and he's still just about a second away from Oliver Vogt. So it just shows how much straight line speed that Nissan GTR has. And the other thing I wanted to bring up, Stefan, is you know, all credit to Ogorodnikov, right? He's had all these issues. You could easily just put it into the garage and DNF it, but he's still out there and he's still fighting.
Yes, exactly, because I think that's the pure racer mentality there. And I know it from my own experience. When you get crashed out of a race and you have to pit and you're losing time, it's just like, you know, just take it out on track. It's still very valuable experience to gain out there in the rain, about maybe the setup or how the car behaves, or you never know what happens out on track, and you just might gain another few positions. So definitely, you know, never give up, never surrender, and just keep at it.
Right, talk about never give up, never, you know, never back down. Have a look at who is in P10 already. Borges Ballerini started at the back of the grid from the pit lane and is already up into P10. Granted, he does have to pit, but I think he's only going to put himself down to about P15, P16.
He's definitely on a fly, so that is amazing to see. And he now even moved up into 8, while we see some of the guys in front of him, I think 1 or 2 even now entered the pits. But interestingly, most of the top guys are still not in pit and trying to squeeze out the last bit of traction of the white tires, while it looks like in some parts of the track the ideal race line is really starting to dry up now.
Yeah, that is certainly looking like the case here, and the driver's trying to wander that balance as Alexander Doricot goes very, very wide at turn 1 to keep those tyres as cool as he can, and that is costing time, because look at Kilp there in 4th place in the 999 Mercedes. Kilp's obviously itching to get past, but he just can't make anything happen right now. These two in a class of their own right now, 8 seconds ahead of Niels van der Kelt and Anufriev in 5th and 6th place.
Yeah, it's you can definitely see that the AMG has a bit of a better line, and he's, well, I don't want to say an easier time, but it looks like he can take so much more torque to the track with the huge V8 engine that he has. And yeah, I think it all comes down to the pit stop. This will be definitely decided in the pits.
Yeah, strategy is going to be key here, as we see Petit firing it up the inside at turn 1, can't get it stopped though, and that is going to hand the place back to Rijkaard, and that is going to mean that he is under threat from Laurent as well. But yeah, you knew that was never going to work. And Riker goes deep, and that hands the place back to Petit. He's going to try and wipe it straight across, but it's not going to happen. Petit surely going to get the drive out in that Mercedes. He does. So Petit up into P14 then.
And we see Lawrence coming into contention now as well.
Certainly do. Laurent looking very, very happy in that connection lost racing, the 171 racing. We're used to seeing him in the 404 machine, but tonight switching it up and going in the BMW. I'm getting admiration in my ear from producer who's appreciating me learning the numbers. It's the same with the names, to be fair, because the endurance race and the sprint races, it's a lot of the same drivers. A lot of the first names are becoming quite familiar as well, Stefan. So, tell us a little bit about your history with sim racing, because we were talking a little bit earlier on, and you're fairly new to all this.
Yes, I have to say that I started back like shortly after all the lockdown stuff happened in Europe. So it was like end of March, beginning of April, where I out of the blue just started the sim racing career, as I was looking for like a new challenge. I was always a gamer. I was always a nerd, and while I'm talking, we see actually Lawrence on a really good run here, moving into the inside line of Reichert, and they have a little touch actually through the chicane, and he comes out ahead of Reichert and nearly loses it there. So that was a really hard move. So I wonder if we see another penalty for this, maybe. But
I don't think we will. But what I've got to say is that little bump between Laurent and Reichert there, I love the fact that there was a little contact and could have made more of it, but backed off. I like seeing racing like that, where it's going to be tough, it's going to be rough, and it's going to be firm, but it's fair as well. There's a lot of respect for the drivers out there.
Yeah, absolutely right there from you. So a little bit of touchy is always okay, especially in these tricky conditions, because it's just you're struggling for grip if you're moving off the ideal race line and try to brake on parts of the track that are even wetter than what you have been used to. So, but as I was saying,
Did you just see that? Did you just see that wobble?
He just wants to know how far he can take that McLaren, I guess.
How has he just done a 203 141? But he had that massive moment coming out the last corner there. That's absurd.
I mean, he's 1.5 seconds quicker than anybody else on the field. So 2.5 seconds even right now, as our lovely producer keeps telling us. So I mean, if I would be in his position, I would like, okay, I can calm down now and like cruise into the finish line. But the mindset of Niels, who is like I think a racer by heart and soul, is just keep on pushing. I want to know where the limit of the car is.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm saying that while having the world's quietest ever happy scream to myself, for the reasons that will become clear very, very shortly. 20 minutes left to go in the race, though, and it's back having a look at Prendergast chasing down Fuzzy there. This is the battle for 9th and 10th place. And yeah, awesome race that we've had so far. But your top 5 still haven't paid.
Yes, and we have Fuzzy now in 9th place after the first drivers ahead of him with their pit stop, and he has kept out of troubles as far as I remember, and is sitting in 9th position, and I'm pretty sure that he will be going up into top 8 or even the top 6 positions, depending on how the guys are doing their pit stops. But it looks like Prendergast doesn't want to make it that easy for him.
Yeah, and again, it's just coming down to all these little battles that we're seeing develop over the course of the evening. The fact that we've gone 40 minutes, Stefan, without World War III kicking off, we haven't seen cars going flying to the moon or anything like that as I touch the decks to make sure that doesn't actually happen. I mean, now Petit's actually gone into the pits again, but also look at that Matic with a 15-second stop-go. Oh, sorry, 15-second time penalty. That's, but he's obviously into the pits now as well.
So Matzik got it for aggressive driving and an incident for with car number 8. Thanks to our producer Michael, who whispered us the info. So and he petite in the pits behind him. I just wanted to say it's like 13 seconds gap, so he will lose the position anyway. But with petite in the pits, that doesn't matter actually at the moment. So
I wonder if it's damaged because he's still in there, and that car is in there for an awful long time. Wait a minute, you don't think it's fuel? Oh, Ricciardo Cruz, and that's on turn 1, isn't it? Oh no, sorry, that's turn 3 and 4. That's into the arena that he's spun that car.
It looks like there was no other car involved, at least from what we could see. But yes, in terms of Petit, actually interesting that you mentioned fuel. It could be an issue, especially with the AMG, because it's just a really thirsty girl, that huge V8 car. And if you, for example, do not drive with like a lower ECU setting in the rain, the AMG will just drink up that fuel, and it might be that you forgot about it.
I love that we both call it the same thing, that she's a thirsty girl. That's exactly what the AMG is. Mike Veerman, very aggressive in that BMW, tried to take on Boardman in the Ferrari. Boardman thinks better of it and holds on to 17th position just now. 15 minutes to go. I am very surprised that these top 5 are leaving it so late, Stefan.
Yes, it's a brilliant race until now, but even though it for a short moment, I thought it looked like the pace has settled a bit, and the field has been, there more gaps are opening up. There's not so many big groups left, but still, all over the track we have these 2 or even 3 cars that are just still battling it out. While we take a look at Fussi, my driver of the day in the beautiful V12 Aston, screaming around the track and still having Prendergast up his neck, who is kind of, it looks to me like right now he's just checking what is Fussi doing, how is the car around the track, might he be in contention to make a move. Is there anything you can notice in the behavior of the car? So it looks like the Ferrari of Prendergast is just like, sitting there waiting for something to happen and to move in.
I think you're absolutely spot on with that one, because that patience is the key in races like that. But saying that, Prendergast got that all wrong at the chicane there. The car mounting over that second curb there, looking like it cost him a little bit of time. But Fussi didn't actually get much of a decent exit from that chicane as well. So, yeah, this is all going to play out very, very unusually, because Onufriev, I think, is going to get caught up by Doriket and when he goes into pit lane. So I really don't know how this is going to pan out.
I'm really surprised at how smooth and steady and planned the V12 is looking right now. And while I say that, I'll just knock on some wood to just make sure that he doesn't spin out now in the next corner. But having driven the V12 myself for a few laps and a few hours around tracks like Kyalami, because I just wanted to know how it feels, and I was so much surprised that I was even dipping down into like really low lap times that I usually do with other cars. And
is that back in the pits, or is he still in the pit?
He's still in the pit, so something is not right there. So you never know. Maybe there was like a private emergency or something coming up, that he just parked the car in the pits and is now basically gone. So we might have to catch up with him later after the race.
Do you know what it is? His mum's called him for his tea.
That might be it. When your mom calls you for tea or for lunch, you don't want to be late.
Yeah, exactly. 15 minutes left to go in the Rain Meister event here for the Sim Grid on the BMW here of Philip Matzik, the Butler PAL Motorsport 251 outfit. 15-second time penalty for him. And look at that, all of the cars up to P9. In fact, if we can jump up to P8, Mr. Producer Man, as we see Matzik going flying by there is one of the, that was a GTR, I'm pretty sure that was. There's Nils into turn number 1 then. So Nils has pitted then, and he's still, let's see. So he's dropped down to 4th then on times, but then everyone else has got to pit anyway. So it's kind of not representative.
Yes, sure, as everybody that is now in front of him has still to go and do their pit stop. So he pretty comfortably will get back up into the lead again.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because we've not really spoken about him, Stefan. But Nils has just been completely dominant. There's not even anybody else had a look in this race.
Yeah, he's driving in his own league, and it's just if you ever watch him on his own stream, it's like it's absolute magic. It's amazing the kind of feeling he has for the car, and the way he can just push it and keep it at a constant limit is just amazing.
Yeah, we spoke about that earlier on. I mean, the fact he's still doing 203.1s is absurd. Is absolutely absurd. So he'll be catching up on the guys in front of him on his own right, regardless of the fact that he's on aggregate faster than them anyway.
Absolutely right. He will actually catch the guys before they even enter the pits.
That is just insane. So we see Niels in 4th place there. We see Alexander Dorica in the Porsche up to 6th place as well. He's going to climb up quite significantly as well. Now, Fusey is down into 9th place behind Prendergast, and that now throws him into the clutches of Pride. So something obviously happened, Stefan.
There must have been a moment, and it definitely wasn't me because we were talking about Niels. So I guess he just maybe lost it out of a turn. It might be because we are now at the end. We are nearing the end of the race, and it's moments like that when you just go off the ideal race line just for a tiny bit, or you know, there is like a puddle you haven't seen before, and it can happen all so fast. So I think he just maybe had a slight moment going off track, or losing a bit of traction and opening up a possibility for Prendergast to move through there.
What brilliant little fight going on here. Kreuzer and Torsten Kilp in provisional 1st and 2nd place just now in the Mercedes. Stefan setting their fastest laps of the race that last lap round.
That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. I think that's one of the things with the AMG, but especially with every car, when like their fuel is getting low and the car is getting lighter, they are able to push it even more. And both of these cars look absolutely planted, and they look very comfortable right now, being able to push, and that's really nice to see 2 AMGs at the front with just 10 minutes left, pushing it before their pit stop.
Yeah, and pushing it is an understatement to the nth degree right now. Half a second is what it says on the time screens. I think it's more like 2/10, 3/10 of a second splitting them up right now, and they've got a back marker just coming up in front of them just now as well. So yeah, this is going to get very, very tasty if they don't jump into the pits. I've got a feeling with that last lap they may only have 1 or 2 laps left worth of fuel.
My feeling actually says they will dive into the pits at the same time, and they don't. So thanks for showing that.
There's nothing more to Stefan. Yes, I think this is what's going to happen, and then immediately as that last word leaves your mouth,
yeah, the magic is all gone right now.
We're having a look at Mike Veerman in the MV Racing BMW, getting very, very close and personal with Sheriff Turley in the GTR. Sheriff Turley not had the best of races, been in the thick of the accidents left, right and centre, but great little battle going on here further down the order as well. Have a look at Borges Ballerini, still not pitted yet, but up to 7th place.
That will be very interesting to see which position he will then actually come out, because with the huge time gaps between the drivers right now, it's really hard to tell actually.
Now, can we jump up to P2 actually? Because I think 2nd place has just went into the pits, and I'm wondering if they have tried to jump the leader right now. No, in fact, Lucas away down at 7th place actually. So that's actually cost him quite a lot of time, and that looks to have put him behind Alexander Dorica right now. In fact, that's a Porsche that he's fighting with in front of him. So yeah, that.
He's unfortunately fighting a car that is actually getting blue flags right
now. So Doric's away up the road then, and that's the number 23 car of the 24 car of Borges Ballerini. So Borges hasn't pitted yet. So that was the 4th position, but Borges hasn't pitted.
Exactly. I just thought it's a car that's being lapped, and he's a bit of a better pace because he was on Kreuzer was on his outlap. But yeah, you're right. It's actually P6 in front of him, and he still needs to pit. So it looks like Doricot is now actually, thanks to the producer mentioning it, he's actually aiming for P2.
That's a turn up for the books for Doricott, because he didn't have the best of starts to the race, but he was one of the first to jump into the pits, and I think that is really worked out so well for him.
Yeah, it looks like he really had free track ahead and was keeping his head out of any incidents, and it's definitely paying off. While we have Fuzzy now really under pressure by Pride and even Paulik in the BMW coming up. So this is definitely not sorted out yet. This looks like to be it will be a very tough battle in the last 7 minutes.
I think you're absolutely spot on. And Mike Behrman is recovering, because that car is not looking too happy in the wet right now. All sorts of shapes being thrown in the BMW, and he has got, I think that's Uhl just in front of him. Back to the battle though for 9th and 10th place. Fuzzy under all sorts of pressure here from Cody Pride in the KCMG Nissan right now. Paulik just dropping off a little bit, but Fuzzy really not getting any space to breathe whatsoever.
No, it's really a challenge right now to just keep cool and not be looking into your mirror all the time, but focus on your line, try to be as clean and smooth as possible to not make any mistake, and basically gift Pride the position.
Well, our provisional leader right now, Niels van der Kekel, I don't think that's going to last for much longer, but he is up into the lead right now, just 2 seconds ahead of Niels Nayot. And that pace from Niels is sensational. But look at Fuzzy having to absorb all this pressure right now from Pride behind him.
He's doing a brilliant job, and you just have to be aware that it's not that easy to just dive in, but we see him losing a bit of traction out of the corner right now, and that just opened up the gap for Pride. Now let's see if he can take the momentum into the next corner. No, he's just letting Fuzzy go along again to just not risk any accident there, and I think that was a really smart and very respectful move by Pride there. So that's just awesome to see.
Yeah, intelligent driving there from Cody Pride and from Fuzzy there. Fighting is one thing, but you're now into the final stages of the race. 5.5 minutes left to go. It really is a formula, an Excel spreadsheet of risk and reward right now.
Yes, and it was really beautiful to see him, not just pushing it over the limits and running the risk of ruining the race for like 2 drivers. And
yeah, that's Borges Ballerini is taking the swan song. His comeback drive is being eclipsed now. He's into the pits. The inevitable has happened. But look at Onufriyev and Van der Kekelt. 5 minutes left to go, and they've still not pitted.
I'm just starting to wonder if they forgot about it.
Oh, I wonder. There's not a pit window, so could you imagine if they pit just as the time runs out?
That would be really unfortunate.
Schumacher.
It should be actually on their HUD in bright red, I guess, or bright green or whatever color, reminding them to go into the pit. But you never know in the heat of the moment, and if you're in the zone, you're in the zone. So it can happen that they forgot about it. But let's see. 2 laps left, basically, with the time, I guess.
Now, just listening to the producer, I've got to say a massive thank you to Michael for giving us all this wonderful information right now. The reason that Alexander Dorica, I'll come back to that in just a second. Cody Pride goes very, very wide into the corner there and almost gets the position on a plate to Pollock in that BMW. Back to the point that I was making note about Dorica, Alexander Dorica, the reason that he has leapfrogged so many people is because his pit stop was a full 5 seconds, Stefan, 5 seconds quicker than the cars around him.
That's just the magic of really, hitting it the right way when entering the pits, not losing any time on entry, but parking your car in the perfect position so that there is no movement and you can just get going again. So that's an absolutely amazing job done by him.
Wow. I'm a bit worried right now between Nurburgring and Van der Kekelt because that's 3 minutes left to go, Stefan, and they still haven't gone into the pits.
I'll just take the bet right now. I'll tell you, they forgot about it. So
how does that happen? Niels Nijacques, having pitted, has still passed Neil Van der Kekelt.
Exactly, that's just absolutely awesome to see. And I mean, they just have 1 lap left actually to pit for Van der Kekelt and Nurburgring.
Scary stuff right now as Niels Van der Kekelt jumps into second place then as Niels Nijacques takes his rightful place at the head of the field as we see Nurburgring still to pit as well. And the more this is going on, I've got to be honest, I think you're absolutely spot on, Stefan. I think this has been a case of they've just forgotten to pit.
I mean, let's hear what the chat is thinking. Let's everyone in chat type in what you're thinking. Did they forget about pit stop or not?
I think it'll be a very interesting one to see. It's certainly going to make the post-race interviews very interesting for sure. But yeah, I've got to say as well, right, we were watching for a good while, we were watching that battle between Fuzi and Pride. Niels jumps into pits. He's been in, and Vasily Nurburgring is going into the chicane. What's he going to do? Is he going to pit? Because this is going to be his last opportunity too. He does.
Oh, yes.
Boo! Boo, you two.
Boo. Taking out all the excitement. So a last lap pit, I have to say, for me, very unusual. I've never seen something like that done before, actually.
Is that the 999? That is. So that is Torsten Kilp. It is just behind in P3. This is the battle for P2 then, with a minute left to go. Stefan, this is awesome stuff.
This is just insane, and it looks like that Kilp actually has a bit of more traction and can hold the line as he moves on the outside there, and he's now diving on the inside, and it really get out ahead of it. It looks like he's on a better line right now, and Dorico just has to let him go, and that was really close and a very smooth move.
Wow! Incredible action right now, and the fight's still going on between the Mercedes and the Porsche. The Porsche gets a much better run out of the Mercedes arena and tries to get the run in towards turn 6, but it's not going to happen. The Mercedes makes the move stick, and Torsten Kilp is in to position number 4. 25 seconds left to go on the clock. You're watching the Rain Meister one-off event, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you see here, head over to thesimgrid.com and join the community. Come and join us for races like this. We have them every single week. You can also head over to beta.thesimgrid.com and enjoy our top secret daily races that we're trying out as well. They are still in development, as the beta title says, but we would love you to help us test them out. Alexander Dorica then down into P3 has been absolutely mugged because Torsten Kilp has taken second place. Oh, look at that! Niels that is Kreuzer in 4th place. Just leering in the background.
Yeah, the next AMG is coming up, and I just wanted to say that although it looks like P2 is settled out,
and that's it! Checkered flag for Niels Nijacques. He comes across the line. Sorry to jump in there, Stefan. I just caught it out the corner of my eye. The checkered flag comes out. Torsten Kilp is going to take second place there. It's going to be 3rd place on for Alexander Dorico. And out then, and the gap is just, what's that, 0.4 of a second to 0.8 of a second. Incredible stuff.
This was just so close, as it looks like Dorico catching up a little bit with Kilp, actually. That was close. That was absolutely brilliant. And with Van der Kekelt in 5th place right now, all the happy flashing to have survived the race and Prendergast in the Ferrari. And look at Fuzzy in P7 with the huge V12. Absolutely amazing. I love it.
I've got to say, my drive of all of this has been Borges Ballerini down in 13th position there. The comeback drive of all comeback drives. Was that car facing the wrong way or just stopped on the start-finish line there? It's after the start-finish line. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. So Borges Ballerini finishes in P13. What a drive from 39th on the grid.
Yes, I have to say that actually my driver of the race is Fuzzy in the Aston V12, just because he took the car and he did an amazing job and put it across the finish line with basically keeping his head out of all the nasty incidents and crashes that happened. So a really amazing job done by him in the car.
Yep. Brilliant stuff. Whew. Well, so Niels predicted that it was going to be a German that won the race, and he's German and he's won the race. So I guess technically he's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of, yeah, you kind of called that one, isn't it? It's a bit of a stereotype.
We have a German Rain Meister on a German racetrack. So how incredible is that?
It's good to see positive stereotypes, eh?
Absolutely.
Oh, Stefan, it's been an absolute joy having you along tonight, buddy. Did you enjoy that?
I absolutely enjoyed it, and I really hope that we can repeat that again sometime. It was a real pleasure to be with you, David, and have such an amazing opportunity to commentate such an exhilarating race.
Yeah, it was awesome fun having you along. Let's give you a rundown then of your top 10. It's Niels Nuyok's taking the win from Torsten Kilp. Alexander Dorica in third place there. It's Kreuzer in fourth with Niels van der Kekelt in fifth place. Kieran Prendergast in P6. Marcel Fuzzy in seventh place with Anufriev in eighth. You then got Pride in ninth place and then Pollock in 10th position. Laurent finishes in the connection lost machine in 11th place. Marcel Rijkaard in 12th place. Borges Ballerini, that's stunning comeback drive in 13th place. Johannes Weiss in 14th place. Boardman in 15th. Sheriff Truly in 16th. Schaefer in 17th. Schroeder in 18th. Batty in the Lamborghini in 19th. Matzik in 20th position. Mr. Producer, can we go further down and we will keep going down the list? There we go. Happy days. Right. It's Veerman in 21st position. Igor Ogorodnikov has had the night from hell, but look at that. P22. That is an awesome drive for him. 23rd is Uhl. 24th is Atta in the Merc. 25th is Jones. 26th is DeLuca. And McKean in 27th with Oliver Vogt in 28th place. Kalaksai in 29th. Druez in 30th. Cruz in 31st, Petit in 32nd, could have been so different. Frank in 33rd, Pambergen in 34th, Ballwinkle 35th P position, Robar in 36th. Bonka did finally get into the race, so great to see that, and still finished 37th, so he wasn't last. That's awesome stuff. Stavrakis had a race to forget in that Lamborghini, and Roscoe did get a couple of laps in the Porsche 991 in 39th position. Wow, awesome stuff. So, yeah, I don't think we've got any drivers to speak to tonight, do we? Oh, we do. I can see a name there, but we're going to have to find out who that is first. I'm always scared of interviewing random people on Discord, Stefan. It never works out too well.
I'm really looking forward to this opportunity, actually.
I think we're gonna put you in charge of this one, so we'll leave our producer to go and find out exactly who we have got in the wings. But chat, let us know if you enjoyed that. Remember, if you want to come and join us, head over to the Sim Grids and come and join us on our weekly events. You can take part in some of the cups and the championships as well. And if you want to improve your game, head over to Coach Dave Academy. Get some of the fantastic wet setup packs that they've got over there, as well as for some GT racing as well. So I believe we've actually got Ibiata to come and have a chat with us. EB, thank you very much for joining us. That was a wild night, wasn't it? A poor EB's not realised that their mic's on mute, so we'll give them a second to take themselves off mute on Discord here. But while they do, oh, there we go. EB, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you guys.
Welcome aboard, buddy. That was a crazy race, wasn't it?
It was absolutely fantastic. I just loved the start of the race and just watching everybody go for it, and couldn't see anything, so I just backed off, and obviously we saw what happened.
How was the race for yourself? Because obviously we tried jumping through, and we saw you having some fair moments in that mare.
Yeah, it was a good race for me. In terms of starting at the back and just gain places and just try to gain confidence as the race went on. I did make a blunder though. I changed my tires in the pits, which I shouldn't have done. I should have just fueled up, because I fueled up for half a stint and then refuel again. But I made a mistake to change tires, which I shouldn't have done. But it was still a good race. A lot of the drivers was very respectful. And yeah, it was nice. Some of the guys in the front, when they were lapping me, man, those guys are quick, man. It was like, wow, how do they drive like this in the wet? It was great. It was good to see.
Is there anything as disheartening when you see that you're fighting tooth and nail just to keep the thing on track, and these guys are coming absolutely flying past you?
I know, you got to give them respect, though. You know what I mean? So you've got to respect the talent that for you to be able to drive at that pace. And I think there was a couple of guys, first, second, and third, at some point came past me, and they were racing, close, back, tail to front in the wet, while lapping other people. It was absolutely fantastic, man. It was great.
Stefan, have you got anything to add in?
Yeah, I would just love to ask if you just have to pick one moment, what was your top moment of this race?
Well, for me,
Yes, for you.
Finishing without crashing for me, that was my top moment. I made sure that I didn't spin the car, and that was it for me. That made me very, very happy, because there's a lot of nerves, and obviously you got people coming from behind, people you're trying to chase, not hitting anybody. I didn't touch anybody, and I kind of stayed away from all the affairs, and that was my highlight of the race for me.
Absolutely. So congratulations. I think you did an amazing job managing that.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you very much for joining us in the commentary booth. We hope you had a fantastic night, and we'll look forward to seeing you on track again soon.
Yeah, ta-da. Thanks a lot, guys.
So there we go. That is our one interview done for the night. I think everybody's off to watch whatever's happening on the old sport box at the moment. But Stefan, some final thoughts from yourself. Your commentary experience with the Sim Grid. Will you be joining us back in the commentary box?
I'm absolutely happy, and I gotta say, I gotta be honest with you guys and everyone on stream. I was a bit nervous because you guys at the Sim Grid are just doing an amazing job, and the level is just so high, and the community is so great. So, but I enjoyed this race. I enjoyed my time with you, David, and with Michael, the producer, in our ear. And I really hope that I can come back again for another race and have a good time with you on stream.
Well, we look forward to getting you back on and enjoying even more madness. But it looks like that is about us for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Remember, check out Coach Dave Academy for some setups, and I also check out Thrustmaster as well for your premium wheels. But until next time, guys, we've got more action coming up on Saturday. We've got I cannot remember the name of it off by heart, but it is the Endurance Cup we've got going on Saturday. I believe that is going to be our fellow commentators, Chaz Draycott, that are going to be covering that one as well. And really, really looking forward to that one. So again, check that out on Saturday, the opening rounds of the Endurance Cup. That will be an awesome one. That will be on the same channel here on YouTube. So remember to subscribe to us. And also, if you fancy it as well, give us a like on the video as well. In the meantime, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful evening from myself, David Christie, from Stefan, aka Boonatix, and from Michael Hamlet on the cameras. Take it easy, and we will see you next time.
Stay safe, take care, have a good night.